So I'm just gonna give some general information about um, the chakra and kind of what it's about, comparing to Maslow's hierarchy. Give me 1 second here. And as you can see, like, so in this cycle, we've been kind of comparing Maslow's mental model or Maslow's model with the model of the chakras. This was an image that Jordo had shared with me from a group from a some learning that he's doing, and I just thought it was cool how it lines up, and just the whole idea behind it, and how it aligns with our chakras, which are part of our physical bodies, right? That's what we learn in the bottom three, how it really represents Earth and our physical bodies and all of the parts of us that connect um, to what's real and what is. So in Maslow's model, esteem needs are classified as deficiency needs, and deficiency needs are concerned with our basic survival, including our physiological needs, such as the need for food, sex, and sleep, and safety, such as the need for security and freedom from danger. So, and that can even tie in, when we're thinking about Brendan's morning, right, where he's anticipating this meeting with his family. It doesn't necessarily have to be a dinosaur chasing you. That sense of danger or that impending doom can impact us. So behaviors associated with these needs are seen as deficiency motivated, as they are a means to an end. So you're just acting to do stuff. Esteem is associated with the heart chakra in the other example, and the throat, third eye, and crown chakras align with Maslow's model, as it comes with cognitive, aesthetic, and self-actualization, as well as transcendence needs. So there's just lots of potential connections there. Next slide, please, Scott. So we'll definitely have a discussion. I just want to sort of share a couple of the notes that I had jotted down from this morning. So with this chakra, we're looking at elements like ether, sound, vibration, communication. This is the chakra where mantras and mantra yoga, for example, is a practice. I also wrote down aquamarine and elephant, because for me, aquamarine is my birthstone, and an elephant is just a symbol that I use to think about the idea of addressing the elephant in the room, so to speak. So it just reminds me to try to develop and have an awareness around these things. So communication is the connecting principle that makes life possible. So DNA encoded messages of living cells. When we look at spoken and written word, nerve impulses connecting our mind and body. When we look at broadcast waves connecting continents. And within the body, we have our electrical communication between our brain waves and our muscle tissue. Chemical communication, so thinking about our hormones for growth and change of cycles, and how we defend ourselves against disease, right? So this is all communication and connection. Civilization, cultural networks, communication through sound, vibration, self-expression, and creativity. These are all things that we create and generate as symbols, as shortcuts for our brain. Attributes can include things like listening and speaking, writing and chanting, and telepathy. So the unspoken and felt communication, and can be represented by any form of art, right? Because art is just an expression. So communication, transmitting and receiving information through symbols, with symbols representing the world more efficiently for us. And all of that stuff creates perceived patterns. So I think of that when I'm trying to predict the outcome of something. I'm really under the pressure of my lived memories and what I anticipate, right? And then communication is the first level of physical transcendence. So when we're thinking about the chakra and where it's located in our body and sort of the functions of those things, last week we talked about the heart. So it's the first level of physical transcendence that enables us to um, go beyond the ordinary limits of our body. So, for example, if I were to phone Ottawa right now, I could speak to Scott and find out what's going on in Ottawa without actually having to go there. So, um, so it's kind of like I get to actually experience things that I can't physically be there for, but it still acts as communication. If Scott says it's raining outside, I can feel assured that it's raining outside and know that without actually having to be there, for example. And then again, looking at our lower chakras, so when we think about the root and the sacral and the solar plexus and the physicality aspect of things, that's really where we are individual, right? Our boundaries are created by our skin. And as we climb towards the crown, it's harder to determine what's our boundary and what's like shared, right? So as we get towards the crown where we're opening up to consciousness and other ideas and community and all these things, these are really shared spaces. And that's kind of the principle behind us all being connected. And especially in this group, um, as it relates to, really feeling that connection, even though we're in different parts of the world, right? And then so communication is an act of connection, and communication shapes our reality and it creates the future for us. So if I said to my friend Dale here, hey, could you grab me a bottle of water? Um, I'm basically creating a future for myself where I'm drinking a bottle of water. Um, so that's a really simple kind of example of that. But and then mantras. So just talking about mantras because we do that each week. Those are really a tool for protecting our minds from the traps of um, non-productive cycles of thoughts and actions. So it's a focusing device for calming our minds. And mantras are designed really to awaken our minds from uh, habitual sleep of ignorance. So if we're just in our own heads and we're just believing everything that we think and feel, um, we can barely be ignorant to what's possible, right? I think of that when I think of my anxiety and my depression, for example. Those things really limit what's possible for me. And then the only other notes I made were regarding the sound Om. And I thought it was cool because that's kind of the sound from which the universe was created. And it's said to be like the sound of all things together. And I thought it was interesting that it was in Christianity, it's the same principle behind Amen, right?